Sasuke Uchiha was born as the youngest son to clan's leader Fugaku and his wife Mikoto. Much like Itachi, Sasuke would be at the top of his class, but despite his efforts, Sasuke would never meet the same milestone as Itachi. One day after returning after a long day of training, Sasuke would find his entire clan massacred, including Fugaku and Mikoto. However, Itachi would spare Sasuke. Now having no interest in killing Itachi, Sasuke would throw himself into his studies, ignoring everyone and developing a one-sided rivalry against Naruto. His first mission with Team 7 would be assisting the bridge builder to the Land of Waves, where they would run into the rogue ninja named Zabuza Momochi, and after facing off against Haku would awaken his Sharingan, but despite his efforts, he'll be defeated, which caused Naruto to access Kurama's chakra to defeat Haku. After returning to Konoha, Team 7 would take part in the tuning exams. During the Forest of Death, Sasuke would do battle with Orochimaru, who would be satisfied with his capabilities, who would brand Sasuke with the curse mark, where he'll fall into a comatose state. After waking up, Sasuke would break Zaku's arms, causing the Sound Ninja to retreat. Team 7 would be successful in completing their task and would advance to the preliminary rounds. Despite being fatigued, Sasuke made quick work of his opponent, where his final opponent would be Gaara. Despite holding his own very well, their fight would be interrupted. After pursuing Gaara, two would do battle, but Sasuke would be overwhelmed, where he would reach his limit and would ultimately be saved by Naruto, who would defeat Gaara with the help of Gamabunta. Not long after the attack on Konoha, Sasuke would find Naruto shortly after Itachi would find him. However, Sasuke would be no match for Itachi, who would use Tsukuyomi on him, where he would be healed by Tsunade. And seeing the power difference between them, Sasuke would be confronted by the Sound Force sent by Orochimaru. Desperate to become stronger, Sasuke would take the Sound Force offer. Naruto would track down Sasuke to the Valley of the End, where he would do battle with his teammate. After a prolonged fight, the two would go all out, where Sasuke would defeat Naruto. 2.5 years later, Sasuke would be trained by Orochimaru, but during this, Sasuke would find out that Orochimaru had plans on taking his body, but he would reverse this by battling him and using against Jutsu. Afterwards, Sasuke would recruit Suigetsu, Hozuki, Karin, and Jugo, where he was set out to find and kill Itachi, but not before battling Deidara. Despite keeping Sasuke on his toes, Sasuke would nearly be defeated by Deidara's last resort, C0, by summoning Manda. Sasuke and his team would reach the Uchiha hideout, where he would do battle with Itachi. After a long drawn-out fight, Sasuke would fight as long as he could, but Itachi would be killed by his illness after overexerting himself. But Sasuke would be recovered by a man calling himself Madara Uchiha, who would also help Itachi in his clan's massacre. And during this, Sasuke would realize how much he meant to Itachi and how much Itachi truly meant to him, would swear to make Konoha pay for making Itachi suffer. Yang Xiao Long was born on the island of Patch to Tai Yang Xiao Long and Raven Branlin. But Raven would leave shortly after she was born, and 2 years later, Tai Yang would become romantically involved with Summer Rose, and later her sister Ruby would be born. However, after Summer would leave for a mission but would be likely killed, Yang would find out that Summer was not her biological mother. Her search for her mother would lead to her teens, where she would attend Beacon Academy along with Ruby Rose, Blake Belladonna, and Weiss Schnee. During the attack on Beacon, Yang would find Blake, who would be ambushed by Adam Torres, who would stab her teammate, enraging her, which would result in her having her arm sliced off. But thanks to Blake's semblance, she and Yang would just barely be able to escape. This event would traumatize Yang. After spending 3 weeks in training with Tai Yang, she would set off to Anima to search for Ruby and Raven. It wouldn't take long until she would run into a bandit who would lead her to the Branlin tribe. However, Raven refused Yang's orders. Weiss would end up breaking out of her cage, but before the battle could drag out, the fight would be interrupted by Raven, who would tell Yang the truth about the maidens and Ozpin. During the Battle of Haven, Yang would fight Emerald and Mercury, and after a prolonged fight, Yang would leave to find Raven. After confronting her mother, she would leave once again, where Yang would take the Relic of Knowledge. Afterwards, her and Team Ruby would steal an airship, but when Blake failed to contact her, she would leave to find Blake fighting Adam Torres. After a prolonged fight, Yang and Blake would impale Adam, later arriving in Alice, and after fending off a swarm of Grimm during an invasion, Team Ruby would be arrested for stealing an airship. Afterwards, Ironwood would return to Alice, where he would call back the Aesops and Team Ruby. Ironwood would reach his breaking point after Team Ruby had lied to him. Blake and Yang would do battle with Elm and Vine. After a drawn-out battle, Blake and Yang would win and would regroup with Team Ruby and Penny, where their journey continues. Well, what's the point here, where I'll be paying my favorite Uchiha, Sasuke, against the brawler of Team RWBY, Yang. Now when it comes to Sasuke, I'll only be taking his showings by the time of his final fight with Itachi, since I'm mainly fighting Sasuke at that point, a much more interesting fighter. And for Yang, I'll only be taking showings by the end of Volume 7, since she really doesn't do anything impressive during the events of Volume 8. Now with that said, let's start by breaking these two down physically. By the time of his final fight with Itachi, Sasuke will be a 16-year-old boy standing around 5'6" with a slim build. Sasuke is very strong. He's overpowered Naruto with ease, beat down a bear. Even at the age of 12, Sasuke was able to push back Kakashi, a high-ranking ninja. And by the beginning of Shippuden, he at best should have scaled above Naruto. Speed-wise, even at a young age, he can move faster than most ninja could see, even kept pace with Itachi, who reacted to Kirin and attacked Made of Lightning by summoning his Susanoo, and used hand signs faster than Kakashi could react. And Kakashi, at a young age, used Raikiri to cut a bolt of lightning in half, and has reacted to Deidara's explosives, while not having many feats of his own. Deidara, much like most Akatsuki members, are Jinchuriki level combatants. Durability-wise, Sasuke has been knocked around by Itachi, take hits from all of the Sound Ninja, survived being burnt by Itachi's Amaterasu, ragdolled by a Three-Tails cloak Naruto. He's also been within close range to Deidara's explosives, and remained standing after creating a powerful explosion after both he and Naruto went all out with both their attacks, greatly being amplified by the Curse Mark and Kurama's Chakra. So much like Itachi, Sasuke, while no human tank, is just above average in terms of durability. By the end of Volume 7, Yang will be a 19-year-old female standing around 5'8" with a slim build. Out of all of the members of Team RWBY, Yang is without doubt the strongest. She can send her opponents flying with her punches, toss Vine into ground hard enough to cause the ground around him to crack, and also break his aura. Furthermore, held open the mouth of a Nevermore without enhancing her physical performance, and should skill above Mercury, who clashed with Eyra, and caught Adam's sword, who had enhanced his performance with his Moonslide semblance. And speaking of which, Yang, with her semblance, punched Adam hard enough to carve a crater into the ground. As far as speed goes, she should scale to her teammates such as Blake, who can dodge a lightning beam, who should also compare to other characters such as Mercury and Emerald, who can dodge air ground lightning multiple times, and even kept pace of Antaurus, who outpaced Blake. In terms of durability, she's very tough. She's been knocked through a pillar, had her arm sliced off, and tanked attacks from Adam. Both combatants are polar opposites, but one just has a bit more going at them. Between the two, Sasuke is easily faster of the two, being able to move faster than high-ranking ninjas such as Yamato, Kuriak, and even kept pace with Itachi. Strength is a bit tough to call, but I'll give it to Yang just slightly, mainly because the Nevermore is a much more larger and tougher grim compared to the Bear Summon. Durability is another tough one, but I'm leaning more towards Yang. Technically, due to her aura backing up her durability, while Sasuke, on the other hand, will be taking the full brunt of her attacks. However, when it comes to magic durability, Sasuke easily has the advantage. Amaterasu, according to dead books, is as hot as the surface of the sun, on top of surviving explosions from Deidara's C2 attacks. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Sasuke's magic and speed advantage against Yang's strength and physical durability advantage. But like I said before, Yang has the aid of her aura to back up her durability. So instead of repeating myself, I give Yang the very, very slight edge in physical capabilities. Just like all shinobi, Sasuke carried kunai, dagger-shaped blades measuring 3 to 4 inches, which he can use as a close-range weapon or as projectiles. Parrot bombs to deliver powerful small explosions, and shuriken, star-shaped blades which he can use as projectiles. Sasuke also carried a small amount of demon wind shurikens, a 4-edged blade which he can use as projectile. He also rigged the shuriken with strings to make the blades break apart. But his best weapon is his Blade of Kusanagi, a Chokudo-style sword, though longer than most Chokudo-style swords. The sword also is capable of channeling lightning through the blade, which can cut through tough materials. Yang's weapon are a pair of gauntlets named Ember Selka, which can be used from range to sound shotgun blast to close range. However, after having her arm cuffed by Amatora's, Yang was given a prosthetic right arm by her father Tai Yang, which was later modified after arriving in Atlas, now having the ability to plant explosives, which are powerful enough to take out a Mega Goliath, or even fire off these explosives as projectiles. Her prosthetic arm is also quite durable, being able to take powered up attacks from Adam's Moonslice semblance. On paper, it will seem clear cut, and you're correct to think so, but not who you may think. Sasuke certainly has better weapons, and his sword of Kusanagi is his best close range weapon, but Yang has answers to his options in every way. Her explosives are better than his paper bombs, his kunai and shuriken don't pack the same punch as Yang's shotgun blast, and she has shown that she's capable of handling sword-wielding opponents in terms of Adam, who's, may I remind you, a more aggressive combatant than Sasuke. And unfortunately for Sasuke, Yang has a protection of her aura, which I find hard for the functions of the sword to play effect, so I give Yang the edge in weapons by default. Due to being an Uchiha, Sasuke has a decent knowledge of fire-style jutsus, but also favors lightning jutsus, such as Chidori, which is strong enough to break through Gaara's Sand Spear. But his strongest lightning jutsu is Kirin, an attack made of lightning fused with chakra that is strong enough to obliterate the Uchiha hideout, and even broke Itachi Susanoo. Due to absorbing Orochimaru, Sasuke also gained a few of his abilities, such as his substitution ability, and can summon snakes to block attacks. However, using Orochimaru's abilities does take up a lot of chakra, but this wasn't all Sasuke had. His first ability is known as the Sharingan. The Sharingan can still use perception time, predict an opponent's next move through muscle movement, copy jutsus, and on rare occasions knock out, take control, or even paralyze his opponents. Sasuke also had the Curse Mark. The Curse Mark greatly enhances his physical performance. In his first stage, Sasuke is capable of breaking bones with minimal effort. In stage 2 form, greatly amplifies his physical performance 10 times greater. Just like all huntresses, Yang has her aura and semblance. Aura can buff a user's strength, dampen damage, or even heals them. Her semblance is dubbed Burn. Burn allows her to absorb damage dealt to her, in exchange greatly amplifies her damage output. However, just like all semblances, using this ability too much will drain her aura, leaving her defenseless. Well, talk about deja vu. After everything I went over, it's no competition that Sasuke can do everything Yang could do, but much more better. He can block attacks with his snakes, undo her damage with Orochimaru's substitution, keep her at distance with his jutsus, and amplify his physical performance with his Curse Mark. And the list just goes on and on. The only thing I can give Yang is that she could probably dampen Sasuke's jutsus with her aura and absorb the trauma of his attacks. But other than that, Sasuke just has overall better abilities. So I give Sasuke the overwhelming edge in special abilities. Just like all combatants who use weapons, I'll be using Star Wars Lightsaber Fine Form Spirit Analyze and illustrate how a combatant approaches combat. Growing up training as a Genin ninja, Sasuke will be at the top of his class. He will be skilled in the use of taijutsu, or from hand-to-hand combat, ninjutsu, the art of using jutsu-based attacks, and lastly, bukijutsu, the art of using weapons. When it comes to his skills with blades, Sasuke will be proficient in Form 4 Taru and Form 6 Nimon. A Taru, known as Aggression Form, trains the user to use acrobatics and aggression to overwhelm an opponent. However, the form does eat up a user's stamina and isn't well honed to use in close quarters. Nimon can only be taught after mastering all previous 5 forms to combine a user's blade and force abilities, or in this case, Sasuke's blade and jutsu-based attacks. As an overall combatant, Sasuke can be best seen as a rush style fighter, going in to apply blinding speeds and an overwhelming offense to not give his opponents any time to react or strategize. But if this fails, Sasuke is also a brilliant strategist, showing on several different occasions to be at the best below Itachi in terms of tactics, such as when he figured out Deidara's explosives can be easily countered by his own lightning-based jutsus during the first few moments of their fight, or even create Kirin by fusing his chakra with lightning. Yang was trained by her father Taiyang. Judging by her approach, Yang seems to be trained in a form of kickboxing, though more favors boxing elements more than kicks. As an overall combatant, Yang, while a powerhouse on paper, she isn't exactly a bonehead. She has shown to strategize if she faces off against someone who can match or even pressure her. She is shown to fall back on defense to counter or even strategize, showing during her fight with Adam, and took her father's advice to not use her semblance as a crutch in combat. When on the offense, Yang rushes down her opponents with an overwhelming force. However, opponents who can keep up a high speed offense or who can keep up the pressure in a certain area can get past their guard. Well, I think we both know where this category was going to begin with. And not to judge, while Yang can fight smart, she is absolutely nowhere near or even close to being as creative as Sasuke is. Sasuke can do everything she can do, but much more better. And speaking of hand to hand, Sasuke absolutely eclipses Yang. His style is more acrobatic, and not to mention, he has improved it greatly than what most ninjas are trained in using. Elements of Lee's taijutsu and his taijutsu to fit his style. Now, don't take this the wrong way. Yang is not a bad fighter. Sasuke is overall much more creative and an active combatant. And if you've been keeping up on Discord's discussion section, and to quote Rain, Yang in a combative sense acts more like Dante. If you can't outfight opponent or overpower them, then just last long enough to find their weakness and exploit it. But while this is kind of true in this situation, Sasuke is basically holding all the cards here. While Yang knows the games they're trying to play, Yang unfortunately is bringing the wrong approach to the table. So I give Sasuke the edge in combat skills and tactics. Ironically, I see this fight being similar to Dante's first fight with Virgil, with the finale being similar to Sasuke's first Final Valley fight with Naruto. Let's just say this takes place during the Battle of Mantle shortly before his fight with Itachi. Sasuke and Heavy finish off a Storm of Grim with minimal effort, however shots fired blasting apart a Senpai Grim. Turning around, Sasuke with a bored expression, boss Yang, out of instinct, demands if they heard of Itachi Uchiha. Even if we did know something, you wouldn't get anything out of this, at least with that attitude. Knowing that things are about to go south, Sasuke sends off Heavy to lure away Team RWBY, while Sasuke deals with Yang, who decides to test him a bit. I know you want to show off your gains, but you'll catch a cold the way that you're dressed. Uchiha doesn't say anything, instead sends off a fireball jutsu, who's a bit surprised to see Yang staying with a shimmer of her aura. Despite dampening the blow, it did give her a bit of a jolt of energy for a semblance. Activating her gauntlets, Yang blasts herself forward to meet Sasuke. However, Sasuke stonewalls her assault in exchange, gets him a few jabs of his own. Yang ducks under a hook and plants a jab into her solar plex that sends him flying back. Sasuke coughs as he only gets to his knees. Uchiha side rolls, who tosses a few kunai. Yang blocks, but that's what Sasuke needed, as he weaves in a few hand signs. Once the brawler is in his range, Sasuke plants his hand on the ground, setting off Chidori Stream. That shocks Yang, but only for a brief moment. Sees a shimmer of a yellow aura. Curious, Sasuke activates his Sharingan. Yang rebounds as Uchiha unsheathes his sword and goes on the offense to test his opponent. Now on the back foot, Sasuke manages to get in a few kicks and light slashes. Yang blocks a strike from Sasuke, who kicks off of her using another fireball jutsu. This one Yang dodges, but uses her shotgun blast to boost herself towards the younger boy, who goes to use a few hand signs, but Yang clotheslines Sasuke into the ground. Not missing a beat, Yang begins to beat down the still recovering Sasuke and her assault with a knee strike to the chin, sending Sasuke stumbling back, but catches a jab for Yang and ragdolls her into a car. Rebounding, Whoever this person was is certainly a strange one. Maiden or not, as far as Yang knew, there wasn't anyone who possessed eye power, especially one like her opponent. Sasuke charges forward as his blade begins to conduct a large amount of lightning, but at the last possible moment, Yang catches the Uchiha sword and delivers an uppercut that launches him off the ground, followed by a hard jab that cracks through ribs, sending him flying into a wall that cracks behind him. The brawler discards his sword, but Uchiha merely scoffs as he tosses a few Demon Wind shuriken. Yang smirks as she easily dodges each shuriken, but the last one she shoots was an explosive, but this is what Uchiha had anticipated, and with a simple tug causes the shuriken to break apart in her range. Yang recoils back, removing a blade from her side and sigh, but the damage is nothing too severe that her aura can't heal. Choosing to take charge, Yang fires off a barrage of explosive shots at Sasuke, but is proven futile as he easily evades each shot fired at him. In exchange, tosses a few kunai attached to paper bombs at the older huntress. Much like Sasuke, Yang dodges, but now realizing in order to end the fight, they will have to hit hard and fast. Yang pours all of her energy that she has gathered into her semblance, igniting herself bright enough to light up the street, while Sasuke powers up to his curse mark stage 2 and uses his hand signs to activate Chidori. At a close distance, the two clash with a powerful explosion that erupts, blasting out dozens of windows. But when the dust clears, Sasuke did not only overpower Yang, but impaled her with his hands through her liver, before releasing her as her arms fall to her sides and her aura finally gives out, trying to heal her. Sasuke retrieves his sword before leaving to regroup with his team to continue his search for Itachi. And with that as clear, Sasuke Uchiha, the Avenger of the Uchiha clan, is the winner. Okay, I'm not even going to sugarcoat this. I knew how this fight would turn out the moment I started doing research for these two. Even when highballed, Yang just can't beat Sasuke anytime soon. And what advantages she does have doesn't come close to Sasuke's variety. Sasuke's Sharingan alone hard counters her slight physical advantage and weapons, but that doesn't mean the rest went about how expected. Once again, Sasuke's Sharingan alone hard counters Yang's physical advantage, and when it comes to their abilities, Sasuke holds the clear advantage. And not only that, Sasuke absolutely dominates combat skills and tactics. Now, to give Yang credit where credit is due, yes, she can be clever in how she fights, but she is nowhere close to being as creative or as intelligent as Sasuke. And if you've been keeping on Discord, even when highballed, yes, Yang would be hitting in a similar ballpark, but this time this fight was really decided by special abilities. Even if Yang's semblance was highballed to being as equivalent to Naruto's Three Tails cloak, Happy Sasuke's curse mark would still be hitting harder, and if anything, Sasuke's amped Chidori would take her out. And speaking of which, Sasuke doesn't have to rely on just range abilities, since he also excels in hand-to-hand combat, and it's also my belief that Sasuke could copy Yang's fighting style with his Sharingan. And this is evident during the preliminary rounds, showing that the Sharingan doesn't just copy jutsu-based attacks, that it can also copy the movesets of its opponents, shown when Sasuke managed to copy one of Lee's attacks. So, right from the start, no matter how you slice it, Sasuke by the end will have counters to literally everything Yang has to throw. And if anything, Sasuke can just simply copy Yang's fighting style and just modify it in its own unique way, like he did with Lee's Lotus. Now, to be frank, even if I went with Part 1, I still see Sasuke winning, simply because despite his Sharingan being weaker by the end Part 1, by that time, Sasuke will still take the edge in both combat and special ability, which is what he needs to take Yang out. And in that case, I see the fight being similar to Sasuke's Final Valley fight with Naruto by the end Part 1. But this is also my fault for kind of overestimating Yang and giving her the benefit of the doubt that she could challenge Sasuke. But if I'm being honest, I'm not disappointed on how this turned out, since Yang is the one RWBY character that I can tolerate at the moment, and Sasuke is possibly my second favorite Naruto character. But I digress. With that said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe if I'm if you care about that, and be sure to subscribe to a newcomer to the Verse series going by King Cameron. And his trailer to the Verse series is enough to tell me that it's a series to look forward to. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe to Brian at 3 Topics Gamer and Rain932. Links will be in the description. And I'll see y'all in the season finale.
Hey, back to Xanarkand?
In any case, I'll miss having him around.
He's still in town, isn't he? I think I'll go see him. Oh!
Whoa!
Sir Orin!
Yuna,
Sir,
I wish to become your guardian. Do you accept?
You're serious?
You refuse?
no. We accept, right everyone?
Of course! No problem at all!
But why?
I promised Braska.
You promised? My father? Thank you, Sir Orin. You're welcome to join us.
And he comes too.
Hi, guys. Howdy.
This one I promised Jet.
Wedge. You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gill.